Hi, welcome to episode 5 of Snowed, the Michael Snow is a Fraud series. My name is Shelley, and if you're not familiar, please go back and watch the previous videos. I was romance scammed by Mr. Snow, and I am telling my story, so hang on, it's going to be a wild ride. I want to thank all of you for the support and the positivity that you've shown. I would also like to point out that there are some women in the comments who have also interacted with Mr. Snow, and they've left a little bit of their story. So if you have a chance, just have a peek so that you know that I'm telling the truth and they are backing me up here. And you will, again, as this story goes, we're going to have other women on here and you will meet them and they will tell you their stories and you will hear, this is just the tip of the iceberg right now. For the people who've reached out to me personally that know me and maybe didn't know that this was happening in my life, thank you. Thank you for your support. I love and appreciate every one of you. This is really hard for me to put out in the world. While I usually am an open book and I am the type of person that is very out there and happy and open, I don't usually, I mean, sometimes, but this isn't the kind of thing that people, flash all over the internet. But here I am. To the ladies that have reached out to me privately that have been scammed by Mr. Snow, I got your back, sister. I'm here. I'm here for you. Doing this for you. You are strong. Don't think you're not. Just because you are not able to sit in front of this camera like me. You told me your story and I'm here for you. I'm not going to use your names because there's more than one. But just know that you are not alone. You are not alone. And it's going to stop with us. But thank you. Thank you for trusting me with your stories. Another thing I'd like to point out is just a reminder that the reason there's so many women is because Mr. Snow travels in a semi. He drives truck. He travels coast to coast, right from Newfoundland to Vancouver. So there's plenty of opportunity for him to reach women on these dating apps, and he's on every single one of them, rest assured. And if you happen to be watching and you think, whoa, geez, well, I kind of interacted with somebody that sounds familiar, but that wasn't his name, please know that he does use aliases. And some of them are, well, he uses his own name, Michael Snow. He also uses Mike Snow, Paul Snow, Michael Logan, Paul Logan, Gunny Snow. I also want to jump back into yesterday's video. I talked about his military tattoos on his body. One of the women suggested that I did show the military tattoos, and we do have a photo, so I am going to show you. This is so much fun in TikTok land. Okay, so if you notice on his back, it says Semper Fidelis. Now that is a classic U.S. Marine term, and it means always faithful. So you can see he's got that all the way across his entire back, right up at the shoulder blades. Now, the tattoo on the back of his neck, that is, it's actually Japanese symbolism, and it says its name is what he tells me. He told me that was in Japanese because he served in Japan when he was quite young, and that was one of his first missions as a U.S. Marine. You can see also the one on his left shoulder. It says Devil Dogs, and that again is a classic U.S. Marine tattoo. Now, I also want to point out that I know that this photo was taken while he was dating me, while we were in a relationship, because he got the tattoo on his hand and the tattoo on his right arm while we were together with my money. However, there's a huge group of us women who've interacted with Mr. Snow, and we've yet to discover whose bathroom that is. So we do know that there is another woman out there. So if that's you, let us know. Okay, now I'm going to tell you about the Jeep. Mr. Snow went back to Ontario. If you watched the previous video, Mr. Snow went back to Ontario, and he called me and he said, "Oh, honey, like we enjoyed renting that Jeep so much that, on our holiday, we did a little back road, a thing in it, and it was a lot of fun. I'd really like to get a Jeep. I've always wanted a Jeep." And I said, "Get a Jeep. It's up to you. If you want a Jeep, get a Jeep." He's like, "Well, the problem being is that, my money is all tied up with the CRA, and there's nothing I can do. My hands are tied. So, how about you finance it? And because it's going to be our Jeep, we're a couple, right? And it's only going to be for a few weeks." And I said, I am not really comfortable with that. I have my own car payment. I have bills I need to pay. I have a mortgage payment. I'm doing quite well, and I want to keep it that way. And I just don't think I can handle another, like, it was a $900 payment he was asking. And while I was living comfortably, I just really didn't want to pick up a $900 payment. That didn't appeal to me. And of course, Michael Snow being Michael Snow, it was push, push, fast, fast. I'm standing at the dealership. Let me put the salesperson on the phone. And it was very overwhelming, and it was very quick. And of course, I promise I'm going to pay you out in full. So it doesn't really matter because, it's only going to be a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to pay that entire Jeep out as soon as my bank account is unfrozen from the CRA. I agreed. This is the Jeep that Mr. Snow purchased. Then he brought it back to Saskatchewan, where he had to have it safetied, and he proceeded to put all these fancy gadget things on there. The tires, he put a lift kit, he put tens of thousands of dollars worth of equipment on this Jeep, on my credit card. So at this point, this was summer now of 2018. Mike had this Jeep, and he was quite enjoying driving it, and he was out scouting land. He was a land investor, developer, and so he was driving quite far, doing a lot of traveling for work. And there were times he'd text me and he'd say, like, "Do you have any money? Like, the bank still, the CRA thing is still not." So I'd send him some money. I know. Don't come after me in the comments. I know. So anyways, he was doing an awful lot of traveling at this time. What I do know now, that it wasn't so much traveling as it was going to meet other women that he was meeting on dating apps. As well, he was taking women on trips with him that I was funding at this point that I did not know about. I'm going to tell you a little story. I spoke to a woman, and she doesn't live terribly far from me, just up the highway. And they started dating pretty much the same week he moved in with me. So he'd been cheating on me the entire time. She didn't know I existed, but she did tell me this one story that really stuck in my head. And I'm going to tell you this because you're not going to believe this, but this is how ballsy Mr. Snow is. They were driving up to Saskatoon in the Jeep, my Jeep, and the phone rang. It was me phoning Mr. Snow, and he put me on speakerphone. I could have said anything. I was a wild card. And we spoke, and he asked me to do a few things for him if I wouldn't mind. And I said I would take care of those things for him. I didn't mind. That was fine. And I can't even remember. A few more things was said. I can't remember. But apparently when he hung up, this woman said to him, "So who was that?" And he said, "Oh, well, that was Shelley. She's my secretary." Just wait. As the story progresses, I've been called a lot of things, but that's just number one.